Your Daily 180, 180 seconds of pure Bible study.
Thank you for joining us today for this, your Daily 180 Bible study. This week, we're talking about how to be an effective parent, how to raise godly children in an ungodly world. And we're going to be looking at Proverbs chapter 3 this week and most of next week. And we're going to be looking at some commands that God gives and then the promises that are attached to it. And all of Scripture is inspired by God, 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse number 16. But particularly as we look at the book of Proverbs, it's parental advice. It's a father giving advice to a son. And it's also the idea of a mother's law. And so it's important for us to pay close attention to this. If you want to raise good children, this is a good place to start. So let's begin in Proverbs chapter 3, verse number 1. My son, do not forget my law, but let your heart keep my commandments. There's the command. Now notice the promise that is attached to that in verse number 2. For length of days and long life and peace they will add to you. So if you want to help your children have the best life possible, teach your children to be obedient. Did you notice that back in verse 1? My son, do not forget my law, but let your heart keep my commands. Obedience is so important. Does that remind you of Exodus chapter 20 and verse 12? Honor your father and mother that your days may be long in the land. Over in Ephesians chapter 6, beginning at verse number 1, there again, Paul, the Apostle Paul, talks about the importance of children obeying their parents. You know, sometimes people lose track of the importance of children being obedient. Sometimes you might see an unruly child and a parent just kind of continues to give in to that child and give in to that child. That's not right. Children need to be disciplined with love and in proportion to what's appropriate for that child. But you know, most of us have learned obedience at our mother's knee. Sometimes we learn obedience over our mother's knee. But it's so important. If you want your child to have the best life, what you need to do is teach that child that they need to be obedient. And then when they learn to be obedient, they're going to learn what it means to be obedient to God. Thank you for being with us today for this, your Daily 180 Bible study, and be with us again tomorrow.